What's going on, everybody? How's it going? Charles Moon here on the Market Minds live stream, sitting in for the great Scott Bauer. What a week. Just got back in from Chicago last night. Um, it was great going back home, seeing some of our students, but I'm back to Colorado, trying to get adjusted to the time. And today we have a lot to talk about, folks. We have the initial topic about the Santa Claus rally, retail boom or gloom. We're going to talk about what we should look at, what the prospects and possibility is that may or may not tie into the quote unquote Santa Claus rally. And there are two fairly cheap stocks that a lot of people are familiar with that I believe have the potential for a minimum 40% upside in the very near term. What up? AI in the room. What's up, Ali, Sly, Sandip, Jay? Thanks for showing up, and to the others that are in as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you. So let's get this started. Shyam, how's it going? Uh, mm, Hello, desktop. Am I on the right one? All right, so let's double check that again. I have to go here. I have to go there. That's not going to work. Michael, you around? I might have to do this, do this, do this. He said Santa Claus. I don't. Do you guys see the Santa here, or is this blacked out? Give me 3 seconds. Technical difficulties. We're gonna go back to the webcam. Maybe not. No, that one. That one. Yeah, we got it. Okay. All right. So, folks, we got my man doing this right now. To drive and talk. All right. So, in the meantime, I do want to say we're going to give away some swag, and this swag is really cool and really different. As you can see, this is something that I took back with me. It is our own Prosper Trading journals, leather bound. We also have other items such as Yetis with laser etched logos. We still have the regular swag that we're going to give out. I'm going to let Scott kind of pick and choose what he wants to send out, but we are going to give away perhaps one, maybe two items. We will give you the word of the day, folks. The word of the day right now is going to be. Hold that thought. Not going to give it there just yet. Let me make sure. Looks like we are good to go. All right, so I want to actually talk about this really quick, and then we'll get to the word of the day. I know everybody is tuning in for that, but is Santa Claus on his way, or has he already visited? That's a good, kind of topic and relative thought of, are we seeing the Santa Claus rally yet, or is there more to come? And the answer to both questions is yes. Uh, the the key market, in my opinion, in the very near term is the QQQ, which is the ETF of the NASDAQ. Now, you can see this was the key price range to break out from. And once they broke it here and they followed through here, you could see there's been immediate range extension. We call that a gap and go bar, which is really bullish. And because of this proverbial stacking, meaning everyday higher highs, higher lows, it's showing what's known as a breakout at a critical price level, and certainly vertical ascensions at new all-time highs is an extremely bullish, visual cue. And this, of course, coincides with the timing. People try to, simulate the timing of the Santa Claus rally as early as the beginning of November. I tend to relate it right after Thanksgiving. Technically, it would be Cyber Monday. That first trading day is when I expect the Santa Claus rally to take place. Now, we talk about this as a seasonality trade, and there's certainly nothing that'll give you a direct date. But historically, this is when we start seeing the bullish activity and sentiment start to shift more towards being up versus down. Now, we have seen the Santa Claus rally in recent years come as late as just after Christmas. And I guess better late than never, but this is now the time that we're going to generally see that. And of course, these last 5 days, what have we done? We broke the all time highs, have made higher highs and higher lows virtually every single day, and things are looking good. So, what's next? I'll tell you what's next. The Qs are making a run to test the 550 level by the end of the year. And it's not as difficult as you think because of the amount of time that we have left. Another 24 points over the next few days. That's about a point and a half, point and three quarters on a daily basis in terms of average. So this is what you're looking for. The Santa Claus rally is starting to happen. We could only hope that it's going to continue. And let's keep surging. Let's hope that the NASDAQ starts behaving like Bitcoin and starts blowing the roof off, and we could get this party started. Now, folks, let me take this off. Whoops, that's not it. Wow. Leave the state for a week, and then all of a sudden I lose all sense here. So, uh, here's a key, right? Is he already halfway down the chimney? Meaning that are we going to continue to see this follow through, or did we already see the move and see the pullback? So we haven't seen the pullback, which we will eventually get. But the idea here is that we have a chance where these pullbacks are 1, maybe 2 days, not even that deep of a pullback, and we continue to rise. We are seeing really breakout behavior, and it's not truly reflected on everything. Obviously, Nvidia struggled a lot today, but Amazon and Meta, they are just soaring to the skies. And as long as names like Meta, Amazon, Apple keep doing their thing, it's going to be very, very difficult for this market to even have any of these pullbacks. I do want to mention that there was a point where the markets continued from December into January. This was in 2019 going into 2020. We obviously knew what happened in February, March of 2020. But prior to that moment, there was, I believe, a 30 or 40-day stretch where the SPY only had 2 losing days or something crazy like that. And it wasn't like they were making these huge range moves. They were just slowly grinding up. And that's similar to what we're seeing, although today's range is a little bit more expansive and explosive. Yesterday, the NASDAQ and the SPY only traded in like 32% of their normal daily range. So, this is something that we have to be aware of. Is he halfway down the chimney? Yeah, and it looks like he's ready to drop off some presents and then leave and then come back and drop some more. So that is what we're hoping on as bulls. Now, 2 names I want to talk about with the retail boom and gloom. And this is really important to understand because these are some of the more important figures and names that retail traders kind of key in on. Costco is another, where they look at the health of the retail sector and say, well, is it coming to life or is it not? Well, this is the perfect season to see retail start waking up. Now, the reason why I want to bring up both of these names is because both of these names historically, and when I mean historically, let me pull these up on a 5-year chart. you could see the performance of Alta over the last 5 years from 124 up to 574. They've pulled back very deep, almost to the midpoint, right, between these two. And you can see right there, and that makes a lot of sense that the reversal back to 50% of their trajectory move is where the high level demand is coming in. And when we look at it on a daily chart standpoint, it's been in a significant downtrend. But as stocks stop going down and they start going sideways, well, if they don't go down anymore and they start going sideways, the next move is going to be up. I have a very beloved chart configuration known as the W, and the W always have to have a higher low. And when that W triggers, it usually means that a long-term trend is going to reverse. And this is why you should be excited, because Alta has been below the 200-day moving average since April. Now, the benefit of getting above this 200-day moving average is this, and potentially this. Now, if you don't know what I'm pointing out here, these are what's known as profit pockets. So for me, these are representative of price levels that the stock could effectively race up towards, and not so much fill in the gap, but kind of the same theory of fill in the gap. And I've talked about this lately, and I'll actually point out Lulu, but these purple lines represent levels where the stock could potentially pivot from. And I'm just going to keep pointing them out. Let me see, 165.44, that's close enough. These are potential resistance levels. Now, if you notice, there's a lot of spacing in between these levels, and that's what's exciting. It's exciting is that this stock could potentially, and historically, it's already moved a ton and can move a ton in a very short-term period, but it has the potential of making this really accelerated jump to the upside, because there are very few reference points for buyers to take profits, for sellers to try and initiate trades. And when stocks have lower amounts of obstruction, meaning resistance in the picture, the more likely they have the ability to continue their upside range extension and follow through with easy momentum. And when confidence starts building, especially in stocks that have had a long-term sentiment of bearish confidence, and now that sentiment is pivoting to bullish confidence, recovery can happen very quickly. We've always talked and heard about historically how stocks will go down faster than they go up. And that's true because that becomes a bit of an emotional state and trading activity. But because of how retail has traded in the last few years, we also now can see stocks go up as fast as they can go down. And that acceleration, that, really strong momentum can build and carry. There's a stock that's very popular right now in my trading room called DXYZ. I'm sure a lot of the people in my room already know this. And I had just talked about this week about them breaking through this middle point high. And I said once they get above 50, which was the big price of reference, that they're going to pop it to this level. Okay. Was anybody here? Oh, what up, Tony? What up, Mo? Was anybody here in my Momo room that can verify this comment? Anybody? And I'm asking because I want people to understand the thought process that is coming behind Alta. And because the stock found this profit pocket, boom, here we are, right at 61. That was the projection. So now, if we break through this threshold, folks, well, there's no real resistance until up here. Imagine. You could even see it on the right. just how easy the stock glided up. Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and just pat myself on the back, but you could go back to a lot of my TV appearances through 2024. I've talked about it with Coin. I talked about it with Palantir breaking 45 that they're gonna shoot up. I've talked about it with DoorDash when it broke through 90s and how fast they're going to go. I believe PayPal and SQ are in the picture. People forget that PayPal used to be 3 times the price of where they are right now. And of course, I've been on record and I have been loudly talking about this stock, which was Lulu. Lulu, as well, has made that very strong downward trajectory descension and has been really consistent this year. And then they stopped. And in fact, I was really adamant about this bounce off of the 50 SMA in October as being a very bullish pivot. And you start seeing those signs where the old resistance is acting as support. And once they got above that 200-day moving average, well, again, first profit pocket we're anticipating from 317 to 350. The next was up to 384. And look, now they're above 384. They're shooting it up towards 437. Now, this is an old pivot level. Frankly, they're going after this level, which is the gap fill. That's nearly 100 points from that 384 break. And you can doubt me all you want, folks. You can. But as these stocks continue to ascend, are you just going to sit on the sidelines and watch? Or are you going to respect the technicals and projection of opportunity and perhaps take a shot? Now, a lot of what I talk about has to be taken with a grain of salt. I don't expect Lulu to fill this gap by end of next week, but perhaps in the next 2 months. Is it worth sitting on a stock for, let's say, 60 days to see 70 points in gain? I don't think too many people would say no to that. People would be like, yes, it's worth it. And so, as we see the health of Lulu and the health of Alta starting to transition from being, highly desirable to extremely bearish to now getting back to being highly desirable. Remember, I said long term, these have been incredible performers. I showed you the Alta chart. Take a look at the Lulu chart. Whoops, I did it on the 3-year. Let me put it on a 5-year. We have talked about the stock going from 128 to 515. Sound familiar? That's basically the same scale of movement as Alta. They're very similar. Lulu, though, I compare almost to the likes of a company such as Apple. And obviously, they're not the same, but Apple has their loyalists. New phone drops, boom, people are going to buy it. They don't care the price. Lulu, same thing. Boom, they're going to drop $200 for tights or for sweats or whatever. No problem. I'm going to buy it. Please, someone let me know the last time they walked into a Lulu and there wasn't a line at the register. I assure you, their brick and mortar plus their online is doing really, really well. And obviously, they said the magic words. They projected and had really good numbers. And look at how the stock is behaving today. 62 points, 18%. All right, folks. So I'd like to do very quickly before we get into this, the word of the day. Is everybody ready? I hope everybody knows what the word of the day is all about. But if you are ready, folks, let me pull this up really quick. Your word of the day is going to be chimney. It's going to be chimney. Tie it in with Santa Claus. It's a great word, chimney. No, Allie, you're close. Please, if you want to partake in our giveaway today for swag, Michael, how about we do two winners? You sound okay with that? You okay with that, sir? We're going to do two winners today. I don't even think I'm allowed to do it, but I'm going to do it anyways. So, everybody that says the word chimney will have their name placed on the wheel. I'm going to spin it the first time and I'll spin it the second time. We'll draw two winners and we'll do it live, okay? Chimney. Please get the word chimney out now. I'm sure people are gonna be curious. Those in my Momo room already kind of know what the two stocks that I'm looking at that are ready to explode. Look at that chat. And listen, do me a favor, folks, okay? In the meantime, if you like what you hear, if you like these trading ideas, if you like the swag giveaway, and if you just happen to like tuning in to watch us, there's a thumbs up button on these videos. All I ask is that you click on that thumbs up button every time you tune in. As well, right next to our name and our logo, there's a button where you can subscribe. It's absolutely free. And as long as you're logged into your YouTube account and you subscribe, there's also a little bell next to it that you could click on that is going to be for notifications. So every time we go live, you'll be alerted. Any content that we drop on our website or on our YouTube page, you will be able to get those videos into your algorithm. Obviously, these videos we like to talk about in terms of infotainment, but also as well, there's content for people to learn. There's going to be instruction. Our entire page has a lot of different things, from trading lessons, from trading breakdowns. It's a lot of good stuff. So I know obviously you're interested in trading. You should be following our channel. And again, if you happen to like these giveaways and you happen to like myself or Scott and you happen to like this information, hit that thumbs up button. Yes, good old Groucho. Now, two stocks ready to explode. They're cheap. They're relatively cheap. Okay. The first name that we're going to talk about kind of ties in with Lulu. It's a small company named Peloton. How many of you have heard or know about Peloton? I'm sure a lot of you do. I'm sure a lot of you do. Peloton is a great company. Now that, when we talk about growth companies that kind of, overstep and kind of exceed and grow too quickly, obviously the slowdown points tend to be a lot more dramatic. But Peloton also is under new leadership. More importantly, especially this time of the year, Peloton tends to become really popular. And Peloton has affiliated themselves with two major retailers, which are now promoting these, products from Peloton on their website. We're talking about Amazon and Costco. I'd say those are two pretty good retailers to align yourself with. If you actually looked under your Black Friday deals, Peloton was very prominent. It was very popular. They had them both as a Black Friday and a Lightning deal, and it was a great grab. On top of that, Peloton also has a wonderful subscription model. So even if you don't own the bike or the treadmill, you could actually partake in lessons. And the beauty of that is it's way cheaper. Okay, it really is, to subscribe to the Peloton classes as opposed to going to a gym where you got to go 3 times a week and you're probably paying anywhere from $30 to $50 each time you go. And trust me, I've done them. Shred 451, sorry. Shout out to Shred 451. I used them for my wedding. I dropped like 35 pounds in 3 months. I got cut and lean. It was awesome. But then I got married and everything kind of. But getting back to that, obviously fitness is really important in our day and age. And as we get older, people are taking care of themselves more. The younger generation likes to be fit. Peloton is a great name to watch, and it's starting to make its move. And again, you could see these beautiful profit pockets. So now that they've breached their recent highs, making new 52-week highs today, I'm looking for follow through to $12. But I actually think that they're going to break out from $10 and push their way somewhere between $14.75 upwards of around $16. And I'll point out why. If I can pull up my chart on the weekly chart. Now, if you notice this chart, especially if you tuned into Market Minds with me before, has been in this huge decline, but now it's starting to stop, and now it's starting to go sideways, and now it's starting to go up, and now I think you remember when I said earlier, when stocks stop going down, they start going sideways. The next thing they do is they go up. So it's not without resistance. In fact, Peloton has major resistance up until 1750. But once they get through 1750, it opens the door for them to make a big move in the 20s. And the beauty of a stock that's $10 is leverage. Leverage for the shares, Peloton options. I mean, next week's 10 and a half contract, 10 and a half strike contracts. Folks, they're 40 cents. So imagine you buy a contract at 40 cents with a 45 delta, and all of a sudden it explodes, and next thing you know, it's up $5, $6 for you. Well, $40, going up, I don't know, let's say 400-500%. Sure, people would love that. And that's why I want you to keep an eye on Peloton. Really, really love the upside. And oh, look at that new all-time record of entrance on the wheel. Look at, they want the journal, they want the swag. The other name, we'll get to the wheel. I know everybody's excited for it. The other name to watch is going to be Snapchat. How many of you have heard about Snapchat? So let me just quickly broadcast it on the weekly chart. Take a look. Oh, shocker, it looks very similar. Snapchat, sharp descension down, sideways movement. We haven't seen the break yet. We haven't seen the break yet. In fact, for me, in the near term, my anticipation is that Snapchat is trying to make a move towards 17 half. The stock is $12 right now. So a $5 move for a $12 stock is around 40%, and that's my anticipation. However, if Snapchat breaks through $18 again, that opens the door for them to make that move into the 20s and then perhaps into the 40s. Remember, if TikTok is their biggest competition, well, today's news was really important. The news today was that the judge had upheld the ruling and TikTok ban is still on. Now, we'll see what President Trump has to say about that. He has been I don't want to say an advocate, but he's pro TikTok at this moment for now. He wasn't before, right? He threatened TikTok. He threatened to ban TikTok unless they aligned themselves with an American company, which they eventually did with Oracle. However, this news, right, is now down, and we'll have to see what the POTUS says. Now, if the POTUS doesn't step in the way and the U.S. does move to ban TikTok, well, guess who's going to benefit the most? Meta is certainly going to be bullish, but Snapchat has some really incredible upside to play catch up with. And this is really important. So near term, I'm going to pull this back up on the daily chart, folks. You could actually see how the stock is starting to trade. The stock at this moment did reject sharply at 1305. That is a well-defined double top. However, we are now seeing the stock spending more time above the 200-day moving average than they have going back since August. So in the last week, they've been more actively up above the 200-day moving average than they have for the last 3.5, 4 months combined. And that's important because the last time they slid and stayed above the 200-day and they started popping through that level, well, it ended up around that $17 price. And again, keep in mind, Snapchat above $18, then it could get really fun. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. There's a lot of potential. Limited downside risk, great upside reward. How does that sound, folks? Right? So we'll see how it goes. All right, everybody. So let's get down to the good stuff. Michael, where's our wheel, sir? Please and thank you. And don't forget, everybody's still saying the word chimney. Dum 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 dum. There we go. We'll get it up here shortly. All right. And again, word of the day, chimney. So if you haven't put your name on the list, sorry, that's why he was updating the wheel because there are more people doing it. You got about what 10 seconds? 10 seconds to get your word of the day chimney into that chat. Otherwise, you will not be eligible. It said, listen, we gave you a head start. And he still couldn't catch up. I love it. That means, like he said, record numbers. I appreciate you all. You guys and gals are the best. And don't forget, we're not spinning it once, we're spinning it twice. Okay, we're spinning it twice. And drum roll, everybody. The wheel is now closed. Let's get this going. Our first winner today is going to be Ovan Gal. Always giving me a shout out when she comes in and gives me and gets in the chat. I'm actually really, really happy. Let's go, Ovan Gal. That is our first winner. We're gonna remove that name. And winner number 2. Bang, bang. Oh, it's Zora. Oh, yeah, it is Zora. It's Kim K. Let's go, Zora. Let's go, Kim. It's ladies' night. Hold on. Michael, should we do a third? Since this is a record number and we got record names, should we do 3? Okay, so the powers that be said we should do a third. Okay, winner number 2 and winner number 3 is going to be. Oh, it's Paul August. Oh, what up, Paul? Oh, Paul August. One of the newer members here of Prosper in both the AI and Momo room. I appreciate you all. Thanks for tuning in. Congrats to the winners, to Zora, Kim, and Paul. He said, wow. Okay. Scott may fire me, but I'm doing number 4. Hold on. Number 4 is going to be Mr. Bob Campbell. This is our last one. I'm sorry. I can't do anymore because they're already upset that I did 3. But listen, it's not about them. It's about you folks. And of course, without you folks, I'm just a regular old chubby Asian man. I just want to say thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. Do us a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get us in the algorithm. You know, you folks being active in the chat always helps as well. When we do these, I would love to hear back and love your questions. So if there are any questions, fire away. And if not, I want to wish everybody a wonderful, wonderful weekend. we're going to figure out what kind of swag we're going to give away. If I have to pay out of pocket, I will. No problem. Anything for you folks. I may have overextended ourselves, but listen, I had a great fun time on the show. We had a record number of names, so that means that, of course, it's important. And who knows? It is the holidays. We may be giving multiple stuff, once or twice a week. So, usually it's one shot, one day. Well, let's see if we can do multiple shots, multiple days. Again, it's the holidays. And many blessings. Much love to everybody. I appreciate you all. Don't forget the winners to email prosperswag@prospertrading.com. I'm gonna have to message Scott and tell him what happened, but congrats to the winners. Appreciate you all. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And with that, I am out of here. Peace and love.